I wasn't planning on uploading a video on this topic, but some good news just came about, which, to be honest, has me quite impressed. So let's talk about that. If you hadn't heard over the last week, you must have been living under a rock if that's the case, but id Software had released Update 1 for Doom Eternal, which included some cool new features, but it also snuck in a new anti-cheat. Upfront, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. An anti-cheat. Cool. Less cheaters. But that's not really the full story. The reason for that is because id Software had opted to use Denuvo's brand new Denuvo Anti-Cheat. And Doom Eternal is essentially, at least until the next update, being treated as the first public testing grounds for the anti-cheat. And it had brought up a lot of issues, or so people thought, and concerns. We'll talk about all of that in just a moment, but I'm making this video primarily to tell you that after all the mass review bombing, which I personally don't agree with, and the actual criticism people posted online about this new update, let's just say they've heard you. So here's the update from id Software's executive producer, Marty Stratton. I want to provide our PC community the latest information on a number of topics related to Update 1, which we released this past Thursday. Our team has been looking into the reports of instability and performance degradation for some users, and we've also seen the concerns around the inclusion of Denuvo Anti-Cheat. As is often the case, things are not as clear-cut as they may seem. So I'd like to include the latest information on the actions we're taking, as well as offer some context around the decisions we've made. We are preparing and testing PC-only Update 1.1. That includes the changes and fixes noted. We hope to have this rolled out to players within a week. Our team's original decision to include Denuvo Anti-Cheat in Update 1 was based on a number of factors. 1. Protect battle mode players from cheaters now, but also establish consistent anti-cheat systems and processes as we look ahead to more competitive initiatives on our battle mode roadmap. 2. Establish cheat protection in the campaign now in preparation for the future launch of Invasion, which is a blend of campaign and multiplayer. 3. Kernel level integrations are typically the most effective in preventing cheating, which, by the way, that is indeed fact. Number 4. Denuvo's integration met our standards for security and privacy. We'll touch on that in just a moment. Number 5. Players were disappointed on Doom 2016 with our delay in adding anti-cheat technology to protect the game's multiplayer. Doom 2016 has never had a good anti-cheat, so feel free to bring Denuvo Anti-Cheat to that. I would absolutely love it. Despite our best intentions, feedback from players has made it clear that we must reevaluate our approach to anti-cheat integration. With that, we will be removing the anti-cheat technology from the game in our next PC update. As we examine any feature of anti-cheat in Doom Eternal, at a minimum we must consider giving campaign-only players the ability to play without anti-cheat software installed, as well as ensure the overall timing of any anti-cheat integration better aligns with player expectations around clear initiatives, like ranked or competitive play, where demand for anti-cheat is far greater. It is important to note that our decision to include anti-cheat was guided by nothing other than the factors and goals I've outlined previously, all driven by our team at id Software. I've seen speculation online that Bethesda, our parent company and publisher, is forcing these or other decisions on us, and it's simply untrue. It's also worth noting that our decision to remove the anti-cheat software is not based on the quality of the Denuvo anti-cheat solution. Many have unfortunately related the performance and stability issues introduced in Update 1 to the introduction of anti-cheat. They are not related. Through our investigation, we discovered and have fixed several crashes in our code related to customizable skins. We were also able to identify and fix a number of other memory-related crashes that should improve overall stability for players. All of these fixes will be included in our next PC update. I'd like to note that some of these issues were very difficult to reproduce, and we want to thank a number of our community members who work directly with our engineers to identify and help reproduce these issues. Finally, we believe the performance issues some players have experienced on PC are based on a code change we made around VRAM allocation. We have reverted this change in our next update and expect the game to perform as it did at launch. Please stay tuned to the official Doom Eternal community channels for more on the rollout of this update. As always, thank you for your passion and commitment to Doom Eternal. Marty Stratton, executive producer for Doom Eternal. So in short, id Software will be removing the anti-cheat and fixing the stability issues with the next update that should release over the next week. Now, here's why people had a problem with this anti-cheat in the first place, and then I'll also share my probably controversial thoughts on the subject. First off, it is a kernel level anti-cheat. Think of the drama that Valorant's anti-cheat has brought up as an example as to why people are so upset. People even described it as essentially forcing you to install a rootkit onto your PC, which if you trust companies with that level of access and don't think they'll do anything nefarious, you probably won't care. However, Denuvo claims they aren't gathering any of your personal data and will not be operating like other anti-cheats. So let's look into their announcement of the anti-cheat itself and then dive into the other concerns people had, as well as some of the other popular anti-cheat solutions. Hello Doom Eternal fans and gamers. Over the last 3 years, Erdeto's Denuvo team has been building a multiplayer anti-cheat solution. 2 years ago, Denuvo kicked off an early access program where AAA publishers and studios were invited to contribute today's most popular multiplayer titles as anti-cheat test platforms. After countless hours and millions of gameplay sessions, we are excited to announce the launch of Denuvo Anti-Cheat. Our anti-cheat solution doesn't have annoying tray icons or splash screens, and this invisibility could raise some eyebrows. So installing files onto your gaming rig deserves full transparency, so here's a list of what our anti-cheat does. Starting with installing and uninstalling. The first time you start your game, the anti-cheat installs a kernel mode driver into the program files folder. When you uninstall your game, all previously installed anti-cheat files are removed. However, Bethesda.net PC customers will need to manually uninstall Denuvo Anti-Cheat via add or remove programs in Windows settings. As for the starting and stopping of the anti-cheat, when your game starts, Denuvo Anti-Cheat starts automatically. When your game stops for any reason, the anti-cheat stops automatically. Although the anti-cheat starts with the game, actual monitoring only happens during multiplayer matches. And lastly, monitoring. Denuvo by Erdeto is a GDPR compliant third-party data processor, and it's in our best interest to avoid collection of any personally identifiable information. Unlike other anti-cheat solutions, our anti-cheat solution does not take screenshots, scan your file system, or stream shellcode from the internet. We collect information on how the OS interacts with the game and send the information to Amazon hosted servers for cheat detection. So Denuvo claims that their anti-cheat only runs when the game is, it only sends information on how the OS is interacting with the game itself, and only monitors during multiplayer matches. People had also brought up multiple other concerns though, outside of their privacy. One of the most common complaints I saw was the kernel level access, which people claim can be a potential security threat to your PC. And all I really have to say to that is the same goes for every other popular anti-cheat. Easy Anti-Cheat and BattlEye both operate at the kernel level, and just for an idea, here are some examples of games that use those anti-cheats. That includes Apex Legends, Dead by Daylight, For Honor, Fortnite, and Paladins. All of those use EAC. What about BattlEye? Well, that includes Ark Survival Evolved, DayZ, H1Z1, PlanetSide 2, PUBG, and Rainbow Six Siege. And those are only some examples. All of the most popular multiplayer games use these even more invasive anti-cheats. These anti-cheats are the best and most effective at keeping out cheaters. So, in my honest opinion, this complaint shouldn't even exist. This one I feel was just thrown in there to make the situation look even worse than it actually was. The situation was bad, the game was unplayable, but this anti-cheat, first of all, wasn't the problem for the stability, but this anti-cheat works like all the other popular anti-cheats. To me, it just sounded like a bunch of cheaters complaining that there was an anti-cheat in the game. But like I've hinted at, some thought they still had plenty reason to be angry over this new anti-cheat other than it being kernel level. First thing was people asking why it was snuck into the game. And in my opinion, I agree. There should have been a large announcement before the update was even rolled out to give people a heads up that they're going to be trying out a new anti-cheat system, and should have also addressed all the concerns that they knew people would have with this inclusion. When launching a new anti-cheat system, you would think that you would be very transparent and open about its rollout. Instead, the anti-cheat was snuck in, with most people being unaware of the existence, which then just resulted in everyone blaming the many issues following the new update on the anti-cheat after discovering it. Remember, this anti-cheat doesn't have a splash screen or anything notifying you of it being a part of the game. So a big reason people were even made aware of this new anti-cheat was because of the serious issues brought to the game with Update 1, which made people look into it, just to discover a new anti-cheat system was implemented. And of all companies, it was the same company behind Denuvo Anti-Tamper Tech, which has been known to bring performance issues and stability issues to other games. So a lot of people just jumped to the conclusion that the anti-cheat would also cause those problems. People claimed it caused a noticeable impact in game performance, but not just that, they were also accusing it of frequent crashes. And all of that, not just in the multiplayer, but also in the single player, because the anti-cheat also runs in the single player. It just doesn't actively monitor during single player. So all of this was a huge problem when id Software and Doom on PC have a very good reputation of having their games being among the most optimized, running buttery smooth on almost all hardware, and being very stable. That reputation with this new update had been, at least until now, thrown out the window. So here's my overall stance on this. The way they handled the launch of an anti-cheat is horrible, and the issues that arised with the new update were terrible. However, here is where I don't agree with the people that were outraged. Denuvo Anti-Cheat, when compared to other popular anti-cheats, is actually much less invasive. So I have absolutely no problem with it. But I do agree that if you're someone that's only playing Doom Eternal for the single player, you should have the ability to never have to install it. And I'm really glad they plan on addressing that when they do eventually bring an anti-cheat back to the game. Games with multiplayer components need anti-cheat on PC. It is a necessity with the amount of people that are willing to cheat on the platform. Doom 2016 didn't have an anti-cheat, and the game has always been plagued with cheaters. And I'm talking about full-blown god mode, speed hacks, and aimbot all in one pathetic bundle. Unfortunately, the necessity for an anti-cheat is just a part of playing games on PC. I really don't think you should blame scumbags cheating in a video game on the companies trying to stop them from ruining your fun. Companies don't go out of their way to include an anti-cheat just to screw you over. They include it to stop people from ruining your experience, and it comes at a cost for them. It is just them trying to give you the experience you paid for. And now we'll be left with no anti-cheat again, which wasn't even what was causing the issues in the first place. I just find it ironic that you have people complaining about an anti-cheat being included in Doom Eternal, and then you have people attacking Bethesda for not including anti-cheat in other games like Fallout 76. Then you have the people that regularly play games with even more invasive anti-cheats, and they don't say anything about it. But hey, it's cool to shit on Bethesda nowadays, so why not? Either way, with that said, id Software has handled this situation the best way they could. They are removing the anti-cheat. They have solved the stability issues caused by their own doing, and have made a promise to do a better rollout of an anti-cheat in the future. So nothing really but good news. I would love to know your thoughts on this situation and on everything I had to say about it, as I know I might be on the more controversial side of the fence. But that's it for this video. I will be sure to stay on top of the latest Bethesda news to keep you all up to date. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please smack that like button down below, subscribe to Join the Good Fight if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to stay updated on all of my future videos. It would be super greatly appreciated as always. And until next time, this is Epoxy, signing off.